The mausoleum of Hadrian. Emperor Hadrian decided to build during his lifetime a monumental tomb for himself and his successors. The building was incomplete when Hadrian died, and he could not be buried there until a year later, in AD 139. To facilitate direct access to the tomb from the Campus Martius, Hadrian also built the bridge to which he gave his family name, the Pons Aelius. The bridge survived intact until the end of the last century, by then known as Ponte Sant'Angelo. To allow the modern Tiber embankments, the two end spans were in fact rebuilt at that time, so that only the three central arches now survive, as they were originally built between AD 130 and 134. In the 5th century, the mausoleum was included in the defensive system of the Aurelian walls, and throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance it was transformed into a fortress, Castel Sant'Angelo. As such, it served to defend the Vatican, to which it was linked by a singular covered passageway above the Leonine wall. The papal fortress, residence and prison was decommissioned in 1901, and the castle is now a museum, the Museo Nazionale di Castel Sant'Angelo. Unfortunately, we only managed to visit the 4 bastions and part of the spiral ramp. These 2 sketches show the 4 bastions located on the corners of the outer walls. The 4 bastions were named after the 4 evangelists. The walkway that connects the 4 bastions is called the Marching Patrol. The upper terrace offers fantastic views of the city. This huge spiral ramp ascends 400 feet into the castle, taking tourists from the ground level into the historical parts of the building. Model of the Hadrian's mausoleum, made at the beginning of the 20th century by Mariano Borgatti. A cylindrical drum covered with an earth mound rises above a square podium. At the top, a trapezoidal structure supports a quadriga driven by the emperor ascending to the heavens. Ponte Vittorio Emanuel II was inaugurated in 1911. The bridge across the Tiber connects the historic center of Rome with the Rione Borgo and the Vatican City. The bridge commemorating Vittorio Emanuele II of Italy is carried in 3 arches spanning a distance of 108 meters. It is decorated over each of the piers with massive allegorical travertine sculptural groups, and at the ends with high sockles carrying colossal bronze-winged victories. Enjoying a gelato in an air-conditioned ice cream parlor. What we saw walking along Via Nazionale. The Renando Umberto I Fine Arts Museum, located across the street from our hotel on Via Nazionale, as well as the Anglican Church of St. Paul's within the walls, the first non-Catholic built in Rome after the unification of Italy. Built in 1873, the red and white exterior in travertine and red brick is decorated by a beautiful rose window with symbols of the 4 evangelists. Now in view is one of the 2 bronze doors installed in 1977 to celebrate the meeting between John XXIII and Archbishop of Canterbury in 1960. Via Nazionale, one of the main streets in Rome, leads you to Piazza della Repubblica, a semicircular piazza at the summit of the Viminal Hill, the smallest of the 7 hills of Rome. These buildings date from the 19th century, when Gaetano Koch built twin palaces here in a neoclassical style. The one on the left is the 5-star Boscolo Etc. Hotel. The fountain in this square was originally the fountain of the Aqua Pia, connected to the Aqua Marcia aqueduct. Completed in 1888, it originally showed 4 lions. These were then replaced in 1901 with sculptures of naiads, representing the nymphs of the lakes, of the rivers, of the oceans, and of the underground water. In the center, replacing a previous sculpture, is Rutelli's Glauco group, symbolizing the dominion of man over natural force. Also facing the piazza is the Basilica of Saint Mary of the Angels and the Martyrs. Unfortunately, when we entered the basilica, we were told that it was about to close for the day, so we were able to capture only a couple of pictures. But the next morning, we went back for a second visit. On our way to the Piazza del Popolo, we passed by the octagonal hall, ex-planetarium of the Baths of Diocletian, that provides a splendid setting for some works from the Museo Nazionale Romano. In front of the hall is a gift, 1961, from the Twin City of Paris, a Roman column with the bronze caravel on the top, the heraldic symbol of Paris. The entrance of the Tridente from Piazza del Popolo, defined by the twin churches of Santa Maria in Montesanto, left, built in 1662, and Santa Maria dei Miracoli, right, built in 1675. The Via del Corso exits between the 2 churches. The fountain at the foot of the Pincio Gardens is known as the Fontana della Dea di Roma, Fountain of the Goddess of Rome. The central figure is the goddess Rome, flanked by allegorical figures representing the rivers Tiber and Aniene. Below the goddess is a statue of a she-wolf, suckling Remus and Romulus, founder of Rome. The fountain on the opposite side of the square is the Fontana del Nettuno, Neptune Fountain, and shows Neptune accompanied by tritons. Unfortunately, the Fontana del Obelisco was under repair and blocked from view. In 1589, Pope Sixtus V had the Egyptian obelisk of Seti I moved from Circus Maximus to the center of the square. The 23.2-meter tall obelisk stood at the Sun Temple in Heliopolis. In 10 BC, the Roman Emperor Augustus had the obelisk transported all the way to Rome and was erected at the Circus Maximus to commemorate the conquest of Egypt. Having fun with the stick. In 1562, Pope Pius IV commissioned a large gate, the Porta Flaminia, to impress the pilgrims who entered the city via the Via Flaminia. In 1655, on the occasion of Queen Christina of Sweden's arrival in Rome, the inside of the gate was decorated by Bernini on Pope Alexander VII's request. The gate was later renamed Porta del Popolo. Entrance to the gardens of Villa Borghese.